Today, everybody, we're going to take a good look at synthetic reeds versus cane reeds, but I want to do something a little bit different. I've been thinking about why synthetic reeds can last for so long, and one of the theories that I've come up with is because, for all intents and purposes, synthetic reeds do not absorb any moisture at all. Of course, we still have to wet them in order for them to play correctly. However, I want to do an experiment. I'm going to take some cane reeds. I got two tenor reeds. Both of these are Vandoren Redbox 2.5s for tenor. And then I have two Vandoren Redbox 2.5s for alto. And I'm going to polish these reeds so that they absorb as little moisture as possible. I'm also going to break one of my rules, which is don't do anything to a reed before you play it, but once you play it, you are getting moisture inside of it. And I want to try to hydro lock these reeds before I really play them. One exception to this is the tip. I'm not really going to mess with the tip, so we're kind of stuck with that. I am just curious to see how these reeds are going to play due to extreme polishing. So I have with me not just some sandpaper, but this is like, some of this is up to 3,000. I even have some 7,000 grit sandpaper. I also have fingernail buffing pads. These are fingernail buffers. You can pick something like this up on Amazon. I'll post a link for that. Also for some sandpaper also. And yes, you are seeing correctly, I did get myself a haircut. Okay, let's do it. I got the Tropical Shine one. This is washable and disinfectable. It probably goes without saying that if you get one of these and you use it for your reeds, use it exclusively for your reeds. Don't use this on your fingernails and your toes and then use it on your reeds. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, so let's get to it. This blue part, this is the roughest edge, and then the pink part, and then the white part, and then the smoothest is this this gray part here. Also, these ends here are also super smooth, but I want to start at I'm going to start with this white part. I thought it was going to tell me what the grit was, but it doesn't. But I'll start at the white part, and I'm just going to start buffing this thing up. This is absolutely positively a very hacky way of doing this, but that's okay. I'm not even thinking about taking material off of the reed. I'm just thinking about, wow, still staying off of the tip. That is insanely smooth. I'm going to do an experiment for you. For this back part, this butt of the reed here, I'm going to use the blue just to seal that. And then for the bottom part of the reed, let's use this white part also. I've always wondered about the sides, how much moisture is actually being absorbed by the sides of the reed. So let's go ahead and buff that out too. Again, I know this is an extremely hacky way of doing this. Okay, wow, that feels like super, super fine. And now let's move to the even finer aspect of it, which is going to be this gray part right here. But anyway, there's like a shine to this, just like if you were buffing out your fingernails, which is what this thing is for. You know, it doesn't even seem like I need the sandpaper that's here, but it's good to have it anyway. So let me mark this one as number 1. Okay, so I want to show you. What the hell did I do with it? Oh, I'm going to get myself a glass and fill it with some water, and I'm going to show you something about all these cane reeds that you probably haven't noticed before. Okay, I have here a glass of water, this champagne glass here. This is the new reed, and this is pretty much what all new reeds do in terms of energy loss as soon as you get them. soon as you get a new reed, they are quite literally that porous. So it's important that you seal these in order to get the maximum amount of energy to convert to sound, instead of having just wasted energy passing literally through the reed itself. Now, I wet this, but I'm going to do that one with the Alto also. I'm going to do one completely dry, and then I'm going to do one that's wet, just to see if we get any kind of significant difference. Let me move this champagne flute, which is a stupid name for a glass anyway. Now, I've been very successful with using cane reeds and getting them to last a very long time. I had a couple of reeds that lasted me for 2 years, literally over 2 years. And I just thought to myself, what is it about this reed now that's really different from some other reeds? And I thought maybe over time the reeds have sealed themselves. Now keep in mind, I did go through an extensive break-in process, which is playing them every day, playing a wide variety of frequencies using multiphonics to pretty much get the reed to not get locked into playing a certain way. Essentially, the reed will warp inside of whatever groove is on the table of a mouthpiece. So I don't like mouthpieces that have the manufacturer's name engraved in it, because it'll just kind of sink into that. Getting rid of all of that, making sure that I disinfect the reeds with hydrogen peroxide, and just keeping them fresh, and literally over 2 years for a couple of reeds that I've had. Why? So hopefully we can answer that question, or at least get closer to it, or maybe this is all a complete bust and I just ruined 4 reeds. So, all right, let's see what happens. If you like this kind of content and you want to support the channel, you can buy me a delicious piece of cake. It's like Patreon or Kickstarter, one of these kind of things, one of these donation type of things. And I appreciate those of you who have done that. Thank you a lot. For this test, I'm going to use the Allora 580 Chicago. This is my own personal saxophone. If you're interested in this saxophone, I will post a link with Woodwind Brasswind, which I do have an affiliate link with them. So I'm also using this is the compass ligature here with the Vandoren A6 Plus mouthpiece to keep things relatively equal. On tenor, this is my Cannonball tenor. I'm going to use my regular T6 hard rubber, the Ebonite Vandoren mouthpiece. So, okay, let's do it. Okay, so this reed is stiff. I don't know if polishing it up made it stiffer somehow, but I don't know. Maybe that's something to take note of. Let's try the other reed. Okay, so both of these reeds play, but it's not consistent as a result of polishing them. Now, I did polish it in a really hacky kind of way. So let's try the tenors and see what that does. All right, let's do it. Okay. Yeah, this is really, really nice. This is really nice. Maybe I just got a good read, but so far this test is actually going pretty good. I'm going to give you my final assessment of all of this at the end. Let's try the second read. Okay, so far there is no real link to consistency with polishing the reeds. Just kind of, I mean, I did a real hacky way of polishing these, but I haven't noticed that there's like a consistency amongst every reed like you would get with synthetic reeds. But I usually don't have this many Vandoren reeds play like right out of the box immediately. Usually there's more of a break-in period with them. I've legitimately gotten really good with reeds. All right, I treat my reeds like they are living creatures, and they go through a certain type of age progression. And it's very rare that I'll actually get a new reed that right out of the box plays perfectly. Usually I'm aiming for a certain type of resistance when I first play a reed, and then I can work it through its lifespan and get a lot more life out of it. Usually the ones that play the best right out of the box are the ones that don't last as long. It's usually ones that are a little resistant, and then I hit it with a whole bunch of different frequencies. I'll play a lot of multiphonics to really break a reed in. I'll do something like this. Only time is going to tell how long these reeds are going to last as a result of me having polished them this way. So in the next few videos, these are the reeds I'm going to use. So stick with me on all of that. Let me play this one a little bit more. Okay. All right. Okay, so as a recap, ladies and gentlemen, I do think that this was a good idea. However, it is still a work in progress, and I think that ultimately the best thing to do is to play on the reed, see how it feels, and then actually do the polishing. Trying to get it just like a synthetic reed, in my opinion, isn't really that necessary because I'm really good at working reeds. I generally have cane reeds that can last longer than synthetic reeds, but keep in mind I have a lot of different mouthpieces. So having a lot of different mouthpieces means that when one reed starts to die on one setup, it's actually pretty good on another setup, and it's a real advantage that you can have by having more than just a few mouthpieces. You don't need 60 of them like this guy. There you go. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Catch me at the next haircut. See ya!